that we just learned here yesterday a machloikis between Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshes. Okay, Rav Sheshes is over here. What happens if a person was b'derech rechoka? He was outside Jerusalem, and so he can't make it to Jerusalem in time for the Shechita, but he can make it in time for the Pesach Seder. Can he send somebody to bring the Karban Pesach on his behalf, and he'll arrive during the Pesach Seder? Is that good enough? The Torah says if you're a b'derech rechoka, you should do a Pesach Sheni. So we learned yesterday that Rav Nachman said hurtza means you can do a Pesach Rishon if you push yourself. If you find somebody to bring the carbon for you, it would work. Because the whole reason why the Chumash says that you should do a Pesach Sheni is because they took into consideration that you're not in your Jerusalem. But if you do it, Tavay ala bracha. If you have somebody to bring on your behalf the carbon Pesach, you get a bracha for it. Rav Sheshes says no siree. You can't even bring a carbon. You can't have somebody bring a carbon Pesach on your behalf, and it's a real mitcha dachi Rav Monet that the Torah pushed you away, and that you're not allowed to bring a Pesach Rishon. So the Gemara over here begins 2 lines from the bottom. Tzadik Beis Amud Sheni. Amar Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes says, "No aminullah. How do I know my opinion that you're not allowed to bring a Pesach Rishon?" For a person that's b'derech rechoka, how do I know that you're not allowed to bring a Pesach Rishon? The Tanya we learned in the Brayza. Rabbi Akiva says, "Nema tome v'nema b'derech rechoka." If you remember the psukim, it says, this is the pasuk: Dabel b'nei Yisrael ish kiyeh tome lenefesh oy b'derech rechoka. Then you should make a Pesach Sheni. That's what this second Pesach in Chodesh Iyar. So the Torah gives you 2 examples of somebody who couldn't bring Pesach Rishon, somebody who touched a dead body, or somebody who's b'derech rechoka. Says Rabbi Akiva, "Nema tame v'nema derech rechoka." There are these other 2 examples. Just like by tame is somebody who, if the Torah didn't push him off, because he's right here standing in the Beis Hamikdash, he says he touched a dead body. Physically, he's capable of bringing a carbon Pesach. The Chumash says, "Eino oisa," you're not supposed to do it. So also derech rechoka name. Derech rechoka is name, even though shesipik biyadei lasis, he would have a way to bring the carbon Pesach. How? By having a shliach do it on his behalf. Be'eino oisa, the Chumash says you shouldn't do it. So that's Rav Sheshes seems to align clearly with the opinion of Rabbi Akiva. If that's what Rabbi Akiva is saying, Rabbi Akiva is saying that even though the Tomei could physically do it, we don't allow him to do it. The derech rechoka, even though he physically can do it, we don't allow him to do it. We don't allow him to do a Pesach Rishon. So it seems to align with Rav Sheshes. Says Rav Nachman Amalach. Rav Nachman will tell you that Rabbi Akiva l'tamei. Rabbi Akiva has a special, out of at the extremities of the bell curve, his an opinion. And his opinion is the Ksavar ein shechetim v'zarkin al tamei sheretz. Kiva's opinion is that you're not allowed to shecht or spray the carbon Pesach even for somebody who touched a dead sheretz. Now, if somebody touches dead sheretz on Erev Pesach, so technically he could go to the mikvah and then by night he can eat the carbon Pesach. So why wouldn't he be allowed to eat the carbon Pesach? Because by the time you're eating the carbon Pesach, he's not going to be tamei anymore. Rabbi Kiva holds no ein shechetim v'zarkin al tamei sheretz. Even though potentially he could become tahar, this is how Rabbi Kiva learns it. That the Chumash is saying a tamei was so strict with a tamei that even if you could potentially become tahar, we don't allow you to bring a carbon Pesach and eat it that night. So therefore, that's why Rabbi Akiva could make this an analogy between a tamei and a derech rechoka. But Va'ana says, Rav Nachman, I hold Svirale, Command Yoma Sheichetim V'Zercha Al Tamei Sheretz. I hold you could shecht and spray for Tamei Sheretz. So if you could, then technically, just like a tamei who's a Tamei Sheretz, you could bring a carbon Pesach because physically they could go to the mikvah and be matar themselves and be ready at the Seder night. So also a derech rechoka, if they could somehow make their way to the Pesach Seder by having somebody else bring the carbon Pesach for them, that would also be okay. So it's only because Rabbi Kiva has a extreme shita. That's why he holds this opinion. But if I hold the way I like everybody else, that you could shecht for Tmei Sheretz, you could very well hold that you could shecht a carbon for derech rechoika if he's going to make it on time for the Seder. Now we're going to bring, that was a raya to Rav Sheshes. This Tana Rabbanan is going to be a raya to Rav Nachman that you could bring it. Tana Rabbanan, we learned in the Brisa, the following tumas, you do it on the second, they bring a carbon Pesach Sheni. Hazavim, a man who's a Zav. Hazavais, a woman who's a Zava. A lady or a man or a lady who is a Mitzorah. Ubayali Nida is someone who has relations with a Nida. He's Tamei for 7 days. Right? So Bahayoledes and a woman that just gave birth, Hashoigigin, if a person made a mistake and did not forgot that it's Erev Yontiv, Va'anusim, or somebody who was locked up or something like that, that prevented him from doing the Pesach Rishon, Bahamezidim, and here is a special dispensation, that even if you on purpose did not bring a carbon Pesach Rishon, you could bring a Pesach Sheni. B'tamei and a Tamei v'shayi v'derech rechoika. Tamei and derech rechoika is written in the pasuk. That's the Brisa. Now the Brisa asks a question. If there's so many other examples of people who did not bring a Pesach Rishon, Loma Nema Tameh. Why did the Chumash say that as an example? The Torah said if you were a Tameh, you could bring a Pesach Sheni. They could have said other examples, like if you were a Shoigig, or if you were in Anus, or something like that. Or if you on purpose didn't bring a Pesach, you could bring a Pesach Sheni. Why did the Torah give you an example? Loma Nema. So the Gemara says, ask rhetorically back, what do you mean, Loma Nema? Why does it say? The Chumash says specifically, Tameh, the boil mev berishon loy shavkinale. A Tameh, even if he wants to do it on the first day, let's say he's a Tamei Meis, we don't allow him to do it, even though bringing Har Pesach is mitzvah saseh sheyesh bakaretz. No matter what, we don't allow him to do it. So that's why the Chumash has to tell you, Tameh can only bring it on Pesach Sheni, but cannot bring it on Pesach Rishon. Now the Brisa says, okay, fine, you answered me what Tameh, why the Chumash says the word Tameh as an example. Elimke, Loma Nema Derech Rechoika. Why did we use the example of Derech Rechoika? Why did we say that the example of Derech Rechoika, of somebody who is outside Jerusalem, he can bring Pesach Sheni? There are other examples. Now, the Gemara could have easily answered that the reason is that even if you're Derech Rechoika, if you have somebody to bring it to you, we don't allow it. That's what, the same way, that, like you just told me by Tameh, the Boilam Eved, Berishon, Loy Shafkin. If he wants to do it on Pesach Rishon, we don't let him. So I could tell you that the same reason why the Chumash said Derech Rechoika as an example is to teach you that he can only bring it on Sheni and not bring it on Rishon. The fact that the Brisa doesn't answer that proves that the Brisa aligns itself with Rav Nachman's opinion, but a Derech Rechoika could potentially bring a carbon Pesach Berishon. So why did the Chumash? So the Brisa continues. Why does the Chumash give you an example of Derech Rechoika? So the Gemara answers, Lepoitrei min hakares. That means that if somebody was a bederech rechoika on Pesach Rishon, if he does not do Pesach Sheni, even on purpose, according to some Rishonim, he's pater from kares. So that's the chiddush of why the Torah says derech rechoika. So Kuchmandi Alma Hurtza, and this aligns itself with the opinion of Rav Nachman that a derech rechoika could bring a Pesach Rishon. And that's why the Brisa had to give you another reason why the Chumash gave you the example of Derech Rechoika. Now it just fixes up some housekeeping on the first Brisa. The first Brisa said that a woman who is a Tameh on Pesach Rishon can bring Pesach Sheni. Says the Gemara, Isha b'Sheni mi mechayva. Is a woman chayiv in Pesach Sheni? Well, Tanya, we learned in a Brisa, I would have thought, this is Sheni Ela Tmei Nefesh, Shoya B'derech Rechoika. I would have thought that the only one that could do a Pesach Sheni is only a Tamei Nefesh or B'derech Rechoika. How do you know if someone was a Zav, U'Metzeroid, U'Bayalinidis, all other tumas? How do you know they could bring a Pesach Sheni? Minayin, Talmud Loime, Ish. The word Ish. It comes to include that any type of tumah or any type of reason why you didn't bring Pesach Rishon, you could bring Pesach Sheni. But the key word is ish. Only if you're a man that's tamei, you could bring Pesach Sheni, not a woman. So this Brisa seems to hold that a woman cannot bring Pesach Sheni. So the Gemara says, Lo kasha, that's not difficult. There are two Tanaic opinions of whether a woman could bring Pesach Sheni. Ha Rabbi Yossi. The first price is Rabbi Yossi, who holds Noshin could shech Pesach Sheni. We learned this before in Daf Tzaddik Aleph. Ha Rabbi Huda of Rabbi Shimon, and this is Rabbi Huda of Rabbi Shimon's opinion, who hold, both of them hold, that there's no such a thing of a woman bringing a Pesach Sheni. Now we comes to the main topic of today, which is what Sheldon brought up yesterday regarding of how do you divide Karas between Pesach Rishon and Pesach Sheni. So Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Chayav Kares al Rishon. If someone on purpose didn't bring Pesach Rishon, he's Chayav Kares, even if he would bring a Pesach Sheni. You hear this? Even if you bring a Pesach Sheni, if for the first Pesach Rishon you did it on purpose, you didn't bring a Pesach Rishon, you Chayav Kares. And the Chayav Kares al Sheni. You could be Chayav Kares even on the second one. How is that possible? If Bashogeg you didn't do Rishon and B'mezid you didn't do Sheni, you get Kares. So you Chayav both. They're both independent yontivs. There's a Pesach Rishon and there's a Pesach Sheni, and they have nothing to do with each other. That's the opinion of Rebbe. So it's a very strict opinion that once you on purposely did a b'mezid, either by Pesach Rishon or Pesach Sheni, you chayav kares. This is the words of Rebbe. We'll see his source in a moment. Rabbi Nosson says chayav kares al Rishon, upatar al Sheni. Rabbi Nosson says that the main Pesach that you chayav kares, if you b'mezid don't bring it, is on Pesach Rishon and not Pesach Sheni. So if a person's b'mezid on, according to Rav Nosson, Pesach Rishon, Rav Nosson goes one step easier. If you're b'mezid on Pesach Rishon, even if you bring a Pesach Sheni, you chayav. But Rav Nosson disagrees with Rebbe. He holds that if you were b'shoigig by Pesach Rishon and amazed by Pesach Sheni, you wouldn't be chayav kares, because he holds that Pesach Sheni is tashlum, is a way to make up Pesach Rishon, but you still chayav kares. You can make up the mitzvah, but you're not going to lose the punishment that you incurred upon yourself if on purpose you didn't bring Pesach Rishon. And that's the second step. Rab Chananya ben Akavia Omer, he says one step further than Rab Nosson. He says, Af al Rishon and chayav kares. Even on the first one, if b'mezid you didn't bring Pesach Rishon, you won't be chayav kares. Ela im kain like also is the sheni. Only if you didn't do the sheni. If you didn't do the sheni on purpose, then you chayav kares. But according to Rab Chananya ben Akavia, Pesach Sheni is not only a makeup for Pesach Rishon, but also could take away the punishment you incurred by Pesach Rishon. So if on purpose, you, according to Rab Chananya ben Akavia, this is the way I understood it. If on purpose you did not bring Pesach Rishon, if you bring Pesach Sheni, you could do away with the kares that you incurred by not bringing Pesach Rishon. The only way you chayav kares is, according to Rab Chananya, if you're a mezid and a mezid by both. Now the Gemara says, that what is the source of the reason? Very simple. The Tanya we learned to the Bryce like this: Ger shniskaya bein shnei psochim. A ger that became a ger between the Karban Pesach. So he became a Jew after the Yontiv of Pesach, before Pesach Sheni. And then here, a cotton that got bar mitzvah after Pesach Rishon, but before Pesach Sheni. Now, Chayev Lasus Pesach Sheni, Divrei Rebbe. Rebbe holds you have to make a Pesach Sheni. Why? Because Rebbe holds Pesach Rishon and Pesach Sheni are two different yontivs. You have to make a Pesach Rishon, and if you weren't Chayev Pesach Rishon, you would have to make a Pesach Sheni, because it's an independent yontiv. Rav Nosson says no. It's Sheni is a makeup for the Rishon. If you had an obligation on the first Pesach Rishon, Zakak L'Sheni, then you have to make a Pesach Sheni. If you had no obligation on the first one, Ein Zakak L'Sheni. You don't have to make up the second one. So according to Rabbi Nosson, a ger that became a ger in between Pesach Rishon and Pesach Sheni, or a kid who got bar mitzvah between Pesach Rishon and Pesach Sheni, would not have to bring a Pesach Sheni, because Sheni is a makeup of the Rishon. Bamai could be palki. What is the crux of the machlekes? Like we explained, Rabbi Sova Sheni Regel B'fnei Atzmehu. Rabbi holds that Sheni is a Regel B'fnei Atzmai, so it's independent. Rishon is a yontiv, Pesach Sheni is a yontiv. They have nothing to do with each other. Rabbi Nosson Sover, Rabbi Nosson holds the in between. Sheni Tashlum and the Rishon. Who Sheni is a makeup for the Pesach Rishon, but Takuni LaRishon LaMaskile. But it's not enough to take away the punishment you incurred by the Pesach Rishon. So according to Rabbi Nosson, if someone is a mezid on Pesach Rishon, and even if he brings the Pesach Sheni, once he incurred the punishment of Kares, he can't get rid of it without tshuva, of course. So the Pesach Sheni does not remove the Chiyuv Kares that you got by not bringing the Pesach, by purposely not bringing the Pesach Rishon. Nevertheless, you should make up by doing a Pesach Sheni because you get a mitzvah. Reb Chananya ben Akavia, Reb Chananya holds Sheni Takanta the Rishon. Not only is Pesach Sheni a makeup for Pesach Rishon, but Sheni is also fixes you if on purpose you did not do Pesach Rishon. If you do Pesach Sheni, you can do away and not get kares. Ushloshta mikra echadorshu. All three Tanoim, Rabbi Nosson, Reb Chananya ben Akavi, you learn it out from one pasuk. Let's show the pasuk on the screen here. The pasuk says, this is the pasuk. V'ish ashehu tahar, if a man was tahar, uvederech loy hoya, and a man was not on the derech, right? V'chod alasas a pesach v'nichrasa anefesh ahi me'ameha. My Rebbe used to say, v'ish ashehu tahar, if you want him rebei tahar, uvederech loy hoya, you don't go on the road. All right, that's bederech drush. But the ish ashehu tahar v'derech loy hoya, and he doesn't do the pesach v'nichrasa, you get kares. Fine. Here it says you get kares for not doing the carbon pesach. Then the Chumash repeats itself, Ki Garben Hashem loy hikrev b'moyadoi cheto yisay yeshu. Because you didn't do carbon pesach, you're carrying a big avera. What does this word ki mean? And why does the Chumash repeat itself that you're carrying a big avera? The fact that the Torah said you get kares, certainly you're carrying a big avera. So the crux of the machlokes, the three-way machlokes, is how to teach the word ki. Is ki the word ki has a number of meanings. But here, either it means when, or because, or if. Now let's see the Gemara. It says, "V'ish ashehu tahar uvederech loy haya." A man that was tahar and was not on the way, and on purpose he didn't do the Karban Pesach. Rabbi Sava the chodalasas of Pesach v'nichrasa. The first part of the pasuk that says that the person did not do the Karban Pesach, he gets kares, means the le'ovad barishon. He didn't do the first Karban Pesach. Now, iname, but the next part of the pasuk, Karban Hashem lehikrev b'mayadoi. Ki Karban Hashem lehikrev b'mayadoi is a new thing, and the word ki means when he didn't do a Karban Pesach. That part of the pasuk is talking about Besheni on the second. So the Torah and the Chumash in this pasuk, Hishashi Torah, according to Rebbe, the first part of the pasuk is talking about Pesach Rishon. The second part of the pasuk is talking about Pesach Sheni. That's how Rebbe learns. Now, but how do you know that the end of the pasuk, if it's talking about Pesach Sheni, how do you know you get kares? The Torah just says, according to Rebbe, that the second Pesach that you didn't bring, you get a big avera. But how do you know the word cheto yisoy means kares? How would Rebbe know that on Pesach Sheni, if you don't bring the Pesach Sheni, you get kares? We go to Tzad Gimel Amud Sheni. Kisavar, it's interesting. He holds Megadif Haini Movarech Hashem. The word Megadif is, so to speak, blessing Hashem, which what we mean is the opposite. A Megadif is something. See, take a look at this pasuk and you'll have it clearer. The Torah says over here, if you're a Megadif, you get kares. What is the word Megadif? What avera did a person do is Megadif. So the Gemara learned, according to Rebbe, that the Megadif is somebody who, as we always learn, means Yikalel Elokav. He curses, so to speak, the Kaviyachol. So here the Torah says a Megadif gets kares. And it says Ki Yikalel Elokav v'nosa chetoi. So once we know somebody who's Baruch Hashem gets a kares, and it says v'nosa chetoi, so we'll use the nosa chetoi to by Pesach Sheni to also mean kares. That's what he says. Kesava Megadev Hainim Baruch Hashem. The Megadev was somebody that blessed Hashem, and he gets kar, and he gets kares. Ksiva Baruch Hashem. It says by somebody who is Baruch Hashem ki el kalal el kov v'nosa chetay. He gets a big avera. Well, we know that big avera is kares. The Gomer hi chetay dahacha mechetay dahasam. The chetay over here of Pesach Sheni, we learn it from chetay over there. Malahalan, just like by Megadev. In Yikalal El Kov, it means, implies kares. Avkan, Nami kares, so also over here, it implies kares. That's the opinion of Rabbi. Rab Nosson has a different opinion of what the word ki is. He holds the main thing that you get kares is for, again, it's for Pesach Rishon. Pesach Sheni is a makeup for Pesach Rishon in case somebody could not do it by accident. But it's not that you get kares for Pesach Sheni. So, then how is he going to learn the pasuk? If you didn't do Pesach Rishon, you get kares. The high key loshen dehehu. It means because. So let's read the pasuk. According to Rav Nosson, the pasuk says if a man was Torah and did not do the carbon Pesach, he gets kares because he didn't bring the carbon Pesach. So then, according to Rav Nosson, what is cheta yisei ishahu? To teach you that Pesach Rishon gets kares. I know that from the beginning of the pasuk. And this whole thing is one big sentence, only talking about kares. It's only talking about Pesach Rishon. So what does Cheta Yisei teach you? So he's going to learn something different. He's going to say that this thing, look at Megadev over here. I always told you that Megadev is somebody who's Baruch Hashem, who's Yikalal Elikov. According to Rab Nosson, the Megadev is somebody who is not somebody who is Baruch Hashem. He's somebody who is singing to the Avodah Zarah. He's singing to Avodah Zarah. That's Megadev. If you sing to Avodah Zarah, it's not the normal Avodah. You're saying shiros, songs, you get kares. So Megadev has nothing to do with Baruch Hashem. Megadev is somebody who does Avodah Zarah. He gets kares. So then how do you know if somebody is Yikalal Elikov, he gets kares? How would you know that? So that you would know from here. From Pesach Rishon gets kares, and it says you get a big avera, and it says cheto yisoy. So that becomes the teacher to Yikalal Elikov, that the nasa chetoy by Yikalal Elikov gets kares. That's what Rab Nosson holds. V'hachi kamer rachmana. The whole carbon lashem lehikra b'mayad rishon. According to Rab Nosson, the word ki is Pesach Rishon. It's one long sentence because you didn't do Pesach Rishon, that's why you get this big avera. So, hi, cheta yusima avidle. What is that going to teach you according to Rabbi Nosson? He holds kusova Megadev lav hainu mavarek as Hashem. Someone who's Megadev is not meaning somebody who's yikalel elikov, cursing. It's somebody who does something else. Look at Rashi. Lav hainu mavarek Hashem. Elam zamer u'mishorer l'avodah zarah. He sings or makes poems for avodah zarah. That's that you get kares for that, even if it's not the way to serve that avodah zarah. So then, according to that, how would you know Yikalal Elikov would get kares? The Goma Hai Chetay Dahasam, the Chetay of Mekalal Elikov, Mahai Chetay Dechacha from the Chetay over here. That just like by Pesach Rishon by Hacha Kares, just like over here it's Kares, Afhasam, the Mekalal Elikov, you would also get kares. So now that's the opinion of Rab Nosson. Again, Rab Nosson's opinion is the main part of the pasuk of getting kares is only by Pesach Rishon. Pesach Sheni is a makeup, but it doesn't fix the Pesach Rishon kares. If on purpose you didn't do Pesach, if you didn't do the carbon Pesach Rishon, even if you would bring Pesach Sheni, according to Rab Nosson, you would still get kares. Rab Chanina ben Akav Yisova, no. That he holds one step further than Rab Nosson, that the word ki in the pasuk would mean if, and the Chumash is saying, when will you get kares? If you don't bring Pesach Rishon, ki, if you don't bring Pesach Sheni. So Pesach Sheni, if you bring Pesach Sheni, you can undo the kares you incurred if on purpose you didn't bring Pesach Rishon. Carbon Hashem lo hikru b'mayadoi b'sheni. If the carbon you didn't bring b'mayadoi b'sheni, then you get kares on Pesach Rishon. So Pesach Sheni is not only a tashlumim, but it can actually rectify a chorus. It can get you out of the punishment. So again, according to Rav Chananya, what does Cheto Yisai do? What does it accomplish? What does that teach you? Can't teach you that Pesach Rishon gets chorus, because that it says in the pasuk the Nichosah. And it can't teach you Pesach Sheni because Rav Chananya holds like Rav Nosson that Pesach Sheni does not get chorus, and the pasuk is not talking about Pesach Sheni. It's coming to teach you that Megadef, that not Megadef, Baruch Hashem, Kalal Elokov would get chorus. Here is at this point the main point of the Gemara. So even if you didn't have to catch along with the drushes, but if you get this, you get the whole machlokes. Hilkach, the Gemara summarizes. It's very interesting how the Gemara summarizes it. Therefore, Hazid Bazeh Bazeh, if you did a Mezid by Rishon and a Mezid by Shady, of course, to be Hakol Chayet, then you Chayev Kares. Shogeg Bazeh, let's say you only did a Pesach Rishon was a mistake. You didn't bring Pesach Rishon by mistake. Ubazeh, and you didn't bring Pesach Sheni by mistake. To be Hakol Patur. Everybody who holds your Patur, you're Shogeg. Where's the machlokes? Hizid b'rishon. If you b'mezid didn't do the rishon, b'shogag b'sheni, and you did it by accident, you didn't do the sheni by accident. So the first one you did b'mezid, and the second one you didn't bring it because it was a mistake. According to Rabbi Rebbe, they're independent, and according to Rav Nosson, the main thing is the rishon. There's no such a thing of pulling away a chorus, undoing a chorus if you are mezid b'rishon. Therefore, Rabbi Nosson mechayvi. Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia, you would be potter because Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia holds that the only if on purpose you didn't bring sheni, then you get chorus on the rishon. But if it was a mistake by the sheni, then you would not get chorus in that case. Now the Gemara goes the opposite way. Shagag b'rishon, if it was a mistake by rishon, the hizid b'sheni, and I'm amazed that you didn't pay Pesach sheni. According to Rabbi Chayev, because Rabbi holds Pesach Rishon and Pesach Sheni are two different yontivs, and therefore, if you on purpose didn't bring Pesach Sheni, you would get chorus. Rav Nosson, Rav Chananya ben Akavia, Potter. Rav Nosson, Rav Chananya ben Akavia hold you Potter because they hold the whole pasuk of chorus only deals with Pesach Rishon as not discussing Pesach Sheni, and therefore they would hold Shagag b'Rishon. If by mistake you didn't bring Rishon, even if on purpose you didn't bring the Sheni, you would still be Potter from chorus. New Mishnah. What is called being so far out of Jerusalem that you're a potter from bringing the Pesach Rishon. So the Mishnah says, from a city, Mediyim L'chutz, which was 15 miles that we'll learn in the Gemara. If you were from that city and beyond, so then you don't have to bring the carbon Pesach. And you measure it in every direction. In other words, if it's 15 miles, north, south, east, west, no matter where you are, let's say Mediyim was in the north, so of course, in the south is not any shorter distance. It's the same 15 miles away from Jerusalem by foot. And this is the most important point. This old measurement is by foot. Technically, the Gemara is going to say that it would be impossible to start walking at 12 o'clock in the afternoon to get there in time in Shechita in the Beis Hamikdash, because a person could walk 15 miles in 6 hours and 15 mil in 6 hours. And therefore, if it's bigger than 15 mil, so even if you started at 12 o'clock, you're not going to reach the Beis Hamikdash in time for the Shechita, although you will reach the time to eat the Pesach Seder, you're still considered a derech hachoyka and you're potter. So even if today, and this is very important, if the Beis Hamikdash were built tomorrow, even if a person, according to, this is the lenient opinion, even a person was a 5-minute car ride out of Jerusalem, he would still be potter to bring the carbon Pesach. It's going to be quite crowded. So you're potter, and not only that, according to Rav Sheshis, what did we learn? That even if you're a 5-minute car ride outside Jerusalem, you're not allowed to bring the carbon Pesach. So it's fascinating. Rabbi Lezer says, "Iskupas azara." Even if you're on the threshold of the Azara, right there, Velachutz, and beyond that, that's called Derech Hachoyka. And you're potter from being in Pesach Rishon. Because as long as you're outside the Beis Hamikdash, you're considered Derech Hachoyka. Very strict opinion. Amalei Rabbi Yosef comes to support Rabbi Lezer. He says, "Lefichach nokan al hey, there's a pintala on the hay. If it says Derech Hachoyka, you see over here, this dot over here in the Chumash. I copied it, but there is a dot right over there. He says that you see that dot. Whenever there's a dot, it minimizes. And it says not that you're really so far away. Even if you're one step outside the Beis Hamikdash, you consider the derech l'chayka, and you're potter from making Pesach Rishon, and you could do a Pesach Sheni. One more piece of Gemara, we'll get to Gufa, we're finished. There's a Shem. Ula min Mediyim Yerushalayim chamish rasa milan have. If you walk from Mediyim to Jerusalem, it's 15 miles. Savala, how did Ula come up with this number? Kihada Amar Rabba Baba Chana Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, "Kama mahalak adam yom." If a person is walking 12 hours straight, right? Let's assume 12 to 12. Then how many hours can he walk? He walks asar parsoos, which is about 30 mil. From a loisa shachar, from dawn till sunrise, chameshes milan. A person could walk 5 miles. From sunset till night is you lose another 5 milan. So now pashalahu tlosan. That means there's 30 miles less. And I'm sorry, Esara Pasois is 40 mil. So then that means that if you take away the sunrise, the dawn till sunrise, and from sunset to nightfall, if you take those out of the equation, from sunrise to sunset, a person could walk 30 miles. That means from 6 in the morning to 12 in noontime, you walk 15. From 12 to 6 p.m. to sunset, you can walk another 15. So Pashalu Tracer, you have 30 miles to walk, 30 mil to walk from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. Chameser, 15 you can walk with Safar Lepal Gudiyim. 15 you can walk from sunrise to noontime, 12 o'clock. The Chameser, you can walk another 15, Lepal Gudiyim, from 12 to sunset. Fine. Now, from 12 to 6, we just say that a person can walk 15 mil. So how did the Gemara is going to say that 15 miles it took from Modi'in to the Beis Hamikdash, and therefore, if you're beyond 50 miles, you're never going to make it during the Shechita. What is called Derech HaChoika is that you're far away, that you wouldn't make it in time if you started walking. You wouldn't make it in time to the Beis Hamikdash for the Shechita. That's the point. Ula Tameh, this is the point. Amma Ula, Ezahu Derech HaChoika. What's called far away? If you started to walking and Kol Shein Yochon L'Kones B'Shah Shechita, you wouldn't be able to make it to the Beis Hamikdash in time for Shechita, because Shechita of the Korban Pesach went from 12 to 6 p.m., right? Beyond that, it's sunset. They didn't bring the Korban Pesach. If you couldn't make it in time for the Shechita, even if you can make it for the Pesach Seder, that's considered a Derech HaChoika, and you're potter from bringing a Pesach Rishon. Amar, like we learned before, from a Loisa Shacha till a Neitzachama is how much? Chamesh Melim. The Gemara says, how do you know that? How do you know a person can walk from dawn to sunrise 5 mil? No, the Ksiv, it says in the pasuk by Sodom, when it was dawn outside, the Malachim started pushing light to get out of Sodom. Uksiv Hashem Yatzal Oretz light Batzara. By the time sunrise, light got out of his house before God destroyed Sodom, and he walked from dawn till sunrise. He walked from Sodom to Tzayara. Now, the Amar Rab Chanina said, I saw the distance. I saw what it would take from light to walk from Sodom to the city of Tzayara. It would be 5 mil. So from here you learn from dawn to sunrise you could walk 5 mil, because that was the story in the Chumash. From sunset to Tzeisak Chavan you could walk 5 mil. So then from sunrise to sunset you could walk 30 mile. 6 to 12 you walk 15. 12 to 6 you walk 15, and that's why they came up with the shear of Moedi'in, which is exactly 15 miles from the place of the Beis Hamikdash where they shech the Korban Pesach. Okay. We'll continue tomorrow.
Shkoyach.
Okay.
Shkoyach.
Okay. Take care. Good night.
Good night.